This is the Bible of the electrogenic cell. It's not just the best book ever written on the subject, it's the only book ever written on this subject. Brought to you by supporters of Christ.
Bowls steaming, smoothie glasses glowing purple in the sunlight. Just voice grew deep as he read aloud. By decree of King Solomon of Kemet, Africa, a new school has been founded for the children of the world, grades 1 through 12. The Abbs family is invited not only to attend, but to help shape its destiny. Rich Abbs, you are requested to guide and teach the premier science course of our nation. The children gasp, eyes wide, oatmeal spoons forgotten mid-air. The room filled with an electric silence, the sense that something far larger than their Michigan morning had just stepped through the door. Rich looked at each of them in turn, a smile tugging at his lips. It seems, he says slowly, the temple's work is being called back home. Christopher was the first to speak, spoon tapping lightly against his bowl. Dad, this isn't just some exchange program. This is Kemet, Africa, the place where all your lectures start, the land of the pyramids, of builders, of numbers. If King Solomon himself is asking you to teach, he paused, shaking his head in disbelief. That's history calling. Osiris's eyes widened, and his 13-year-old curiosity bubbled out. Does that mean we get to live there? Like in the deserts with the temples? Or will we be in a city with other kids? I want to see the Nile. I want to touch the sand where the first scientist walked. He could hardly sit still.
Yo, I'm not even sure. Hopefully this is working. As I'm not even sure exactly what I'm doing. I'm not even sure exactly what I'm doing. I got a premiere going and a live going at the same time. So I'm hoping that this is working. Right? But we having multiple book releases. And we need to drum up the support. So I believe so far we are at 3 or 4 books released this week. I believe right now we had 3 or 4 books released this week. So we need the support for the holidays. It's a lot going on. This is something new that we're trying, right? Live and a premiere at the same time, going at the same time. Yeah. So the live is going and the premiere is going. Yeah, because I don't think the premiere is going to wait. So we got to let the premiere rock.
His oatmeal forgotten, elbows braced on the table as if leaning towards destiny. Falcon, who had first delivered the envelope, spoke more carefully. I think it's amazing, but it feels so big. Leaving Michigan, leaving our home, our friends, starting all over. What if the school is too different? Her voice wavered between excitement and worry, her twin nature balancing awe with hesitation. Amore and Chanel, the youngest, clapped their hands together in unison. Africa, Africa. We want to see lions. We want to wear white dresses and eat mangoes off the tree. Their laughter lightened the air, their innocence reminding everyone that this was also an adventure, not just a challenge. Rich set the letter down gently, his fingers pressing against the golden seal as if absorbing the weight of it. His gaze swept over his children, each face reflecting a different facet of the moment. This is no ordinary invitation. King Solomon is not just offering us a school, he is offering us a place in the rebirth of knowledge, a chance to stand in the very current where science and spirit first walked hand in hand. The kitchen grew silent again, but this time it was charged, not with fear, but with possibility. The hum of the refrigerator, the faint rustle of the trees outside, even if the steam curling from their bowls seemed to pause, waiting for the family's answer. Christopher leaned forward, his voice steady. If you're teaching there, Dad, then we have to go. We'll carry the codex with us. We'll bring what we know and learn what we don't. Rich smiled then, the lines of decision firming around his mouth. Then it settled. We'll prepare. Michigan was our beginning. Kemet will be our next chapter. The house in Michigan became a whirlwind of boxes and folded clothes, of books carefully stacked in kitchen jars sealed tight. Rich oversaw the work with his steady presence, while Christopher made lists and checked them twice. Osiris wandered the yard with Falcon, saying quiet goodbyes to the trees, the basketball hoop, and the cool blue sky of their hometown. Amore and Chanel filled their suitcases with drawings and little treasures, twin giggles echoing through the halls. On departure day, the weather was clear, late morning sun spilling across the driveway as they locked the front door for the last time. It was September in Michigan, cool, but not yet biting. The air fragrant with the first turn of autumn leaves. Their flight from Detroit Metropolitan Airport lifted at 11:15 a.m. local time, the jet engines roaring into the high blue. The family pressed against the windows, watching their familiar landscape shrink into quilted farmland before cloud cover carried them eastward across the Atlantic. Flying first class was a new kind of ritual. Each of them was greeted with warm towels and silver cutlery, their meals arriving in courses. Lunch began with a fresh salad of arugula, beets, and toasted walnuts, dressed with lemon and olive oil. For the main dish, they were served roasted eggplant with tahini, quinoa pilaf, and steamed asparagus. The flavors fragrant yet clean. Dessert was a coconut milk panna cotta topped with blueberries, smooth and cooling on the tongue. Hours later, as the plane crossed the ocean, a second meal arrived. Miso glazed tofu with soba noodles, edamame, and bok choy, paired with a small bowl of tropical fruit, mango, pineapple, and dragon fruit glowing like jewels under the cabin lights. As the sun fell behind them, the cabin grew quiet, and by the time dawn broke over Africa, they were descending toward Cairo. The wheels touched down at 6:40 a.m. local time. The sky painted with pink and gold streaks of sunrise. Warm air flooded into the jet bridge, a sharp contrast to Michigan's cool morning, carrying with it the scent of sand and distant river water. On the tarmac, a line of black Rolls Royces waited, polished to a mirror sheen. The royal staff, dressed in crisp white linen, bowed as the family descended. Doors opened with practiced grace, and soon they were riding through Cairo's wide streets. The city gave way to desert road, and suddenly the pyramids rose into view. Silent, immovable giants in the morning haze. The children pressed to the windows, their voices hushed with awe. The convoy swept through the ornate gates and into the grounds of the king's mansion. Palm trees swayed gently in the warm breeze, and fountains glittered in the courtyard. At the steps of the palace stood King Solomon, tall and radiant, in a flowing white robe embroidered with gold. At his side was his wife, regal and composed. And by
This is why you have to go to Amazon and get the book, Rich Abs, Poor Abs, now.